I'm going to attempt to do a canning video for canning peaches. So first I'm going to fill a big bowl with water. And over here I have my canner pot. It just has a rubber bottom. And my lens fogged up. And here I have a pot with about 6 cups of water, and I'm going to add about 2 cups of sugar to that. And here are my lids. So I'm just going to boil those for 2 minutes. In the oven down here, I have some jars that I just did a quick wash on, and they are set at 225. They're going to be in there for at least 5 minutes to disinfect the jars. Alright, so I have my sliced peaches in this bowl here. They are about 1/8 of an inch thick, I would say. I didn't do a video of me slicing them because I'm videoing this myself, and it's difficult to video and slice at the same time. I need to work on my videoing skills. This is my syrup. So this is 3 parts water, 1 part sugar. And in the oven at 225 are my jars sterilizing. So I'm just going to grab my canning tongs because this jar is warm, it's hot. Grab that out of the oven and set it beside my peach bowl. And then I'm going to just put this canning ring in there. I'm going to take a bit of this hot syrup and put it in the bottom of the jar. The reason for that is because the peaches are cool, and when I put them in the jar, I don't want to crack my jar. So that warm syrup just keeps the jar warm and helps prevent it from cracking. So then I'm going to fill this with some peaches. I kind of shake them down a little bit. They always seem to shrink after they've been in the canner. So I try and get it fairly full so I don't end up with too much airspace. Just put a couple more in there. Alright, so that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to take the syrup and I'm going to pour it to about just past that first ring in the jar is where I want it. I think that is good. So that looks about good. I could do a tiny bit more, but I think that should be good. Alright, so then you take a clean cloth, dampen it a little bit, and you wipe the rim, just in case you spilled something. You need that seal to be able to contact well with the jar. So you wipe that off, take your tongs, grab your sterilized lid, clean sterilized lid with your tongs, pop it on the jar, and then you're going to hand tighten this ring. You only want it hand tight. If you do it too tight, then your jar could explode in the canner. So just tighten that so it's not too tight. You also sometimes end up with that sticky water leaking out, which is a bit of a pain because then you have to wipe off the jars afterwards, but that's better than a jar exploding. So in my pot, I have a rubber mat that I found to make my stock pot work as a canner, which is perfect because I don't have to store another pot. So this is just kind of a slow boil in there. And then I'm going to drop my jars of peaches carefully. I say drop, but I mean set into my canning pot. You want to make sure that the tops of them are covered with at least 1 inch of water. And I think I can fit 5, but it may be wrong. Oh, another tip is I keep these jars beside my pot so that they still stay nice and warm while I'm filling them, because if they were to cool off too much, then there's danger of them cracking when you put them down into the boiling water. So that's perfect. They're covered in about 2 inches of water there, which is fine. I'm going to leave these boiling. I'm going to set my timer for 20 minutes, and once I pull them out, they are finished. I just have to let them cool and they will seal. So here's my finished product. All these peaches, this was 20 pounds. What 20 pounds of canned peaches looks like. You know your jars are sealed when you press the top and it's not bubbled out. You'll probably have heard some pops as they cool off and as they seal. Here we are.